wisdom,
prudentia,
justice,
justitia,
temperance,
temperantia,
courage.
fortitudo.
Applying ancient philosophy to modern life, this is the Sunday Stoic.
Welcome to the Sunday Stoic Podcast. I am Dan Monks from Queens, New York City. This will be a special midweek episode expanding on our recent discussion of courage. Something came up in that discussion that I had not thought about recently, and I misstated something. In the most recent episode, Steve and I discussed the cardinal virtue of courage. At one point, Steve asked me whether I thought Army basic training was a good way for young people to develop the cardinal virtue of courage. All my adult life, I have been an advocate for young people serving the Republic in the military. On reflex, from long habit, I gave my support to the idea. However, as soon as I said it, I realized it was no longer true. At least it's not true in the present moment. In the episode, I said that young people who wanted to test their mettle and thought now was a good time to be doing such things should go ahead and become a soldier. I should have been more explicit. In my opinion, now is not a good time to join the military. Considering the people at the top of the command structure, the likelihood the young person would receive orders that are illegal, or at the very least immoral, is just too great. In happier times, my advice to young people considering military service was dependent on their life circumstances. If they were joining for a combination of patriotism, college money, and as a way to test themselves physically, I would say that joining with a combat arms MOS is a perfectly acceptable option. Service to the Republic while they figure out their life path is usually a great way to start adult life. On the other hand, if they weren't likely to be college bound, I would recommend that they choose an MOS that would also have applicability in the civilian world. That way, if they do not make it to the 20-year retirement mark, they will have received skills that they can use in the civilian world. They could be medics, communications guys, supply, intelligence analysts. Even cooks and truck drivers would receive skills that they could apply in civilian life if they don't make it to the 20 years in the military. However, in view of the nature of the people currently at the top, I do not think now is a good time to embark on a military career. The list of reasons is considerable. The betrayal of the Kurdish people, programs of extrajudicial killings in the Caribbean, threats to invade American cities, and to invade NATO allies like Greenland and Canada. The list goes on. So, for young folks who are not college bound, I would sooner recommend a trade apprenticeship, preferably within the context of a union, or some other path that leads to skilled work. It's true that soldiers swear allegiance to the Constitution and not to a particular man, and that they have an obligation to reject illegal orders. But this is a heavy weight to put on the shoulders of an 18-year-old. Imagine a youngster receiving the order to invade Greenland or Canada, a thought that would have been impossible a year ago. They are a young person far from home, and the full weight of the command structure looms above them, and they are looking down the barrel of prison time for refusing to carry out an order that violates our long-term alliances and obligations. It's not a circumstance I would wish on anyone. Some may wonder what it was that I did in the military. I was in the Army National Guard for 7 years as a Stinger missile man. That is a combat arms role, but I did not serve in Afghanistan or Iraq. I do not want people to get the false impression that I am purporting to have been a hard-charging active-duty infantry door kicker. All that having been said, there may be one military option I would still recommend to young people today: the Coast Guard. They provide a vital service to the Republic: coastal defense, search and rescue, and drug interdiction done the right way. Every one of us must do our part, where we are, and in the social roles we fill, to make the world a better place for our fellow humans. Take care.